Okay, that's interesting. As per Jude Maris's suggestion, I thought I'd record this and see what happened, and it seems to limit you to recording 10-minute chunks, which is interesting because obviously you can upload 10-minute chunks to YouTube. Jagermeister. Oh, you're an evil man, Dusma. And speaking of swine flu, I am going to have to blow my nose. One moment. Oh, gross. Okay, sorry about that. Mountain Dew voltage. No, we don't get that down here. In fact, we actually have rules that only cola is allowed to have caffeine. Cola and now energy drinks are allowed to have caffeine in it. And because Mountain Dew is not cola and is not an energy drink, our version of Mountain Dew has no caffeine in it. There is no caffeine in Sprite, there's no caffeine in Mountain Dew. It might sound odd. I actually think it's a good thing for concerned mothers who don't have much time to use their brains. They know if they buy a non-cola drink, it has no caffeine in it. I actually think it's not entirely unreasonable. But then I am a dirty communist who believes in government intervention. Shieldsy, I need some Queensland sun. Why? Because I'm a pale Melbourne ghost. Yes. Yes, Dusma, coffee has caffeine in it. Ooh, microfiber towels. Okay, thanks for the tip. My nose is okay at the moment. I like that you can get tissues that are impregnated with like eucalyptus oil here. They are gentle on the nose, and you can get mega high just by huffing the eucalyptus oil in the tissues. So I like those ones when I've got a really runny nose. Seriously, inhale eucalyptus really fast, and woo, clears the head. Yeah, no, really, just get you going. Woo. And by the way, Shieldsy, I would have you know it's sunny in Melbourne today. It's probably 10 degrees colder than Queensland, but it is sunny. Weird Stuff Animation, hey there. Hey Phil, how you doing? Good to see you. Philip Newman in New Zealand. So, yeah, I think the guys organising a Gold Coast gathering in Queensland were kind of smart to do it in winter. Winter on the Gold Coast is still like spring or a mild summer day here in Melbourne. So why don't I spend the day outside if it's so nice? I have been outside and now I'm back inside, and after this I'm going to have lunch and then I will go outside again. In fact, I think I will go outside to have lunch. Thank you for your concern, Kaylee. No, I just choked. Jude Maris telling me your cat's been neutered and he's now high on drugs. Was that just compensation? It's like, oh, we cut your balls off, so here, get really high. No, Amki, you're not the only one here from Australia. I see lots of non-Australians here. Oh, Philip Newman in New Zealand. I have been to New Zealand a little while ago for a holiday in January, which is apparently summer, and even the locals were complaining how they hadn't had a summer. It was really mild, it was cloudy and rainy, and we were having like this camping holiday. It was just not bad. It just got a bit like, it was too foggy to see Mount Cook the day we were there, for instance. But while I was in nice mild weather in New Zealand in January, in Melbourne bushfires were raging. It was 40 degrees and the city was choking on smoke from bushfires. I really didn't want to go back. Is everyone sound off? Where are you? What cities and stuff? I'm always interested to know that. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. Nevada, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, New Milford, Connecticut, Bloomington, Indiana, New Zealand, Vancouver, Newcastle, England. There you go. We've got diversity today. We've got people from all over. Woo. That's what I like to see. Crew. Nice to see. Kyoki's in Tampa Bay. Yay. We've got people from all over. See, this is what I like. Bit of world diversity happening. Russell Island in Queensland, I bet. Ooh, that sounds good, Shieldsy. What city is Russell Island off, Shieldsy? What are you near? Okay, it's one of the islands off Brisbane. Okay. Yes. Queenslanders, for those who don't know, Queenslanders are very spoiled with great weather, really great beaches, wildlife. They've got all the little islands off the coast, the Great Barrier Reef up north. How's it like living there, Shieldsy? It's a great place for tourists. What's it like to live there? See, work-wise, for the work that I do, Sydney or Melbourne are really the only places that's worth being in because the pay is much higher than anywhere else. So, yeah, lifestyle things aside, I wouldn't make any sort of serious money if I was in Queensland. Wolverine was shot in the head! Nice line, Jude Maris. On you, Melanie. Yes, the Wolverine movie was largely shot in Australia because it's cheap to shoot movies here. Except bits of it, like it was shot not solely in Australia, but lots of it was done in Australia. Also, interestingly, a couple of Nicolas Cage films were shot in Australia. Ghost Rider and what was the recent one? Knowing? They were both shot in Melbourne, in fact. I didn't see Knowing, but it was fun watching Ghost Rider and saying, oh, I recognise that street, I recognise that building, oh, I recognise that extra, I know that person. Time here is 10:55 a.m. on Monday. Jimmy, job interviews have been going great. This is probably my last week of doing this. I actually, because I have some other projects I wanted to work on, I almost stopped the job interviews so I could have a bit more time to work on some other stuff. But a couple of them have gone really well in the last week. So I may well be starting a job in the next week. Hey, Happy Cabby, how you doing, man? Best place to come in Australia if you'd only be going for a week. Kaylee, that would depend what you wanted. If you want spectacular outdoors stuff, like wildlife, nature, fantastic stuff, somewhere up the top end. North Queensland, Darwin, Kakadu, the Never Never in the Northern Territory, and even the north of Western Australia. So if that's what you want, the great sort of Australian outdoors experience, somewhere up the tropical north. If you want to see interesting cities, Melbourne and Sydney. Jimmy, thank you for liking TFU Friday. It's saying stuff that needed to be said. Yep, there's a few tips. Cairns in winter, Australian time. Phillip Island for surfing. You get some spectacular scenery if you drive the coast road, Great Ocean Road from Melbourne all the way around the Victorian coast, the South Australian coast and around the bottom of Western Australia. So it completely depends what you want to do. I am drinking my normal Pepsi Max with lots of ice.